That's beautiful.
Wonderful. I love sci-fi.
All right.
Hello. Hello. Welcome.
Almost there yet.
It's all good. All right. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so grateful you guys are here. You know, it's just grateful. Community is so lovely. I'm just so grateful. So my name is Patricia, and welcome to your Saturday Stop the Gun Violence Peer Support Group session. And our session today is, you know, mostly around yoga and Yoga Nidra, and even how, you know, with this whole the Stop Gun Violence, this theme, and how Yoga Nidra can even be used as a tool for people who are moving through trauma or have been through traumatic experiences. You know, I will share with you these types of practices that can help people move through trauma and work with trauma. Because at the end of the day, trauma doesn't go anywhere, right? But there are ways that tools and methods that we can use to keep us in relaxed states so that we're not easily triggered when it comes to our traumas, right? So just to give you some idea of where I come from, my name is Patricia, and I am a yoga educator. I like to consider myself a bit of a relaxation facilitator and someone who is deeply passionate about teaching people how to relax. And I never ever thought I would be here. Like, I never ever thought I would have these conversations or that this would even be a passion. Never ever. So it's, and really I've just been deeply moved by the practices because they've really shaped my life. So I am put myself in a position to share. So prior to yoga, just to get you some idea of how I got here, I am also I'm an artist, so I'm a singer and an actor and a model, and I like to do all those things, and you know, it's an escape. I like to play. I've always liked to play. But I used to also work in the government. I used to work for like the Ministry of the Attorney General and the Privacy Commissioner of Ontario, and I've had some really great jobs over my life. But one year I had gotten into, over 4 years, I'd gotten into a series of car accidents, okay? And I'm pretty sure that the first accident was to get me out of that corporate job because I experienced racism and discrimination, and I had a manager that wanted me to hang up her coat and make her tea every time she came in. And she made it a thing, right? And if I didn't do it, it was like, excuse me, my tea, right? So she was I found the courage to leave. You know, I found the courage to leave. But not too long after and such, I had already gone through a couple car accidents, and I was kind of I didn't get the message. I realized I didn't get it yet until I went through this job. And when this last car accident, a boat flew off the back of a man's pickup truck and came into my windshield.
Oh my God.
So I really thought I was gonna die. And this was the third car accident. The first two were freak accidents, just kind of at the wrong place at the wrong time. None of them were my fault, but I just was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And the last accident, again, the boat flew off the back of a man's pickup truck, came into my windshield. After my second car accident, I started to practice yoga. I had a girlfriend that I went to college with, and I hadn't seen her in years. And when I bumped into her Walmart, out of all places, and she said to me, "You're light, like what you're dim, like what's going on? This is not who you are," from what I remember. And she said, "I don't know what you've been through, but I'm gonna take you to yoga." And I was very resistant and reluctant. Even in mornings when I didn't want to go and I would call her and say, "I'm not coming," she'd be like, she would be on my driveway.
Yes.
Like, you get me? Those are the people in your life. Those are your points of light.
Yes.
The people who guide you back to your light.
Angels.
You know, they're your angels. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, she brought me to yoga, and I tried to get out of it, but she kept showing up. She kept showing up. So but eventually I realized, I didn't realize, but I knew I liked it because I kept going. I couldn't stop going. I was going, like, honestly, you guys, I was going like 26 times a month for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
But it's also because I was going through the car accident. So I was off of work. I had nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of lost my worth. What was I worth? You know, when you are stripped of your roles in the world, what I do in the world, we identify so much with what we do as to think that that's what we are, that when those rules, those labels and those roles were stripped of me, I really was left wondering, who am I? You know, what is this about? So yoga started, it was great. Again now, by the third accident, you know, when you go through car accidents, they send you to therapists and assessments to go get assessments. Are you gonna commit suicide? Are you gonna, these type of things? And I just so happened, my last therapist was a Jewish man, but he was a spiritual man, which was great. And he was asking me, I was telling him what I had gone through, blah, blah, blah. And I kept saying to him, like, I was crying at this point and I was so upset. And I kept saying to him, like, what am I doing wrong? What have I done wrong? Like, why am I here? It's my third car accident. Like, what am I doing wrong? And he was so very clear, good morning. He was so very clear to say, Patricia, don't look at it like that. Look at it as, what have you been doing right? Because if you weren't doing something right, you wouldn't be here after all of these car accidents. You wouldn't be here. So what are you doing right? And that's when I realized, well, if there's anything I'm doing right, it's yoga. I loved yoga. So after that, every class, for some reason, after I went through that experience, everything sounded different. Even though it was the same things that you hear over and over, the same teachers, the same energies, the same philosophies, the same language. But for some reason, after he said that to me, it just sounded different. So I decided, well, my mom and a girlfriend were like, come on, get your yoga training, go, like.
You've been paid long enough.
Come on.
You paid your dues.
Like, don't you recognize you love it? Like, come on. And I was like, okay. So I did it. I got my teacher training. Anyways, thank you. And I got that in 2009, I think. I've been teaching for 12 years, so somewhere around there. Right? Thank you.
You can't tell with yoga. You just look so bright and light and youthful. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, thank you.
It definitely becomes you.
Oh, thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. You know, at the end of the day, any practice, any energetic practice that brings you back to your center, you're communing with God all the time. Whether it's prayer, meditation, community, it's communion. You know, and if you keep going to that place, you will eventually feel lighter and lighter and lighter. My boyfriend reminded me this morning, just really quickly, you know Felicia Rashad, Claire Huxtable? And she was on the Breakfast Club this week, so you can watch it on YouTube. Great interview with her. And they had said to her, you're like the symbol of the perfect black mother, right? Like, to me as a child, she was my mother. Like my mother, but she was my TV mom. And she reminded me so much of my mother. And when the woman said that to her, like, you were always this perfection, this, you know, how do you handle all of whatever, and just how do you keep that stature within yourself? And she said, light isn't heavy, right? She said light isn't heavy, and it's the damn truth. So I appreciate you saying that to me. You keep going back to that light, you're just gonna get lighter and lighter and lighter. So, long story short, that's how I became a yoga teacher. I realize now those car accidents were divine intervention. It was God talk. I was being called, you know? And I realized then the right people and the right teachers, more importantly, came into my life. And they really just taught me that yoga is a natural progression. It's nothing you force. You know, there are no coincidences, no accidents in yoga. Everything is deliberate. Everything is intentional. There's a purpose behind everything. So I was really fortunate to have teachers that instilled that in me. So in saying that, how I found Yoga Nidra. I had been practicing for a while now, and one time I had gone to Montreal, and I had some time, and there was a yoga studio not too far of where I was, and there was a class and all I wanted to do was move, because you move through the body and it's all full of ego. There's so much ego there that you start to compete, and you're even competing with yourself. You're not competing with anyone. You're just competing with yourself. It's so ridiculous. So I was like, oh, I have to go to a vinyasa class. Like, I have to go in handstand, you know, like I gotta go and do that, right? Go to the class and it said vinyasa, but in brackets it said 15 minutes of Yoga Nidra. I didn't know what Yoga Nidra was. This was in 2011. I had no idea what Yoga Nidra was, but I thought, no, this was 2012, yes, 13. I didn't know what it was, but I thought I didn't care. I just wanted the vinyasa. I just wanted the vinyasa. So I was like, I'm going to take the class. So I took the class. When we got into Shavasana, all I remember is her walking me into Shavasana, guiding us into it. Shavasana being corpse pose, dead man's pose. And then I don't remember anything else. And then I remember her pulling me out. But what I did walk away from was, well, what was that? Because I've been practicing for a while now. I've done trainings. Like, no one's told us about this, because this is what happens in the Western world. They can only, like Brother Omar was saying, they can only share so much of these secrets. They are secrets, but they're only secrets because they've treated us that way with the knowledge. They're not supposed to be secrets.
Right.
Every last one of us already has this essence. We just haven't been taught how to embody it and how to empower ourselves and others with it, right? So I came out of the session like, I went up to her like, so what was that? Like, and she explained a little to me and she was like, go and investigate now. And I was like, okay. But also the ego was still there, right? So the ego's like, okay, I'm gonna figure out how to do this, and then I'm just gonna teach everybody how to do it, and then that's just it, right? Not wanting to even practice. That's ego. That's also, you know, you can stay trapped in your body, trapped in your ego.
Yes.
You can just stay there, you know? So I ended up finding a teacher who taught Yoga Nidra and who was a very popular teacher at the time. And I did the class, and at the end of the class, I went up to her and I was like, okay, teach me how to do this. And she looked at me and she went, practice. Girl, I left there vexed.
At least you didn't start.
I was so mad. I was livid. What do you mean practice? You're supposed to just tell me how to do this.
See, at least you didn't start with how do you get to Carnegie Hall. See, I was expecting that.
And she said it just so. She came right, practice. And I thought, oh, you could just imagine what I was thinking. So, but at that point now I realize how you can use your ego. And I used my ego in that moment as my ally. I didn't realize I did, but I did. Because it was more like, okay, I'm going to show her.
Exactly.
That's what happened. So in saying that, okay, I'm going to show her, I ended up practicing Yoga Nidra by myself 6 days a week for 1 hour for 10 months. And I never stopped. I did it consistently. 6 days a week at sunrise for 1 hour for 10 months. And I realize now I certified myself. Because there was no one at that time, you guys. This is 2011. No one's talking about conscious relaxation. People at that time, yoga was the new meditation. You get me? People wanted to try to move into their inner world, so they were using yoga as a tool to meditate, right? Now, fast forward to present day, meditation, now sleep people think is the new yoga. But what people are realizing is sleep isn't working. How many hours of sleep did you guys get last night?
5 or 4.
You know what I'm saying? It's not working. Yeah, that's actually pretty good, right?
No, you should get more. In fact, I decided to go up last night.
Oh, okay. But on a regular night, how much sleep do you get?
Probably like 7, 8.
Oh, you're still very lucky. Are you in your 30s?
Yes, ma'am.
There you are, sister. So when we move into our 40s and everything starts to change. So, but everyone is realizing that sleep isn't enough. They're not getting a deep sense of relaxation from sleep. Okay? So because I certified myself like that for so long, at that time I was working at a studio and I was so very fortunate to have the owner. She just trusted me and she was like, offer it. She's like, get the book. I don't even care if you have the book in front of you. She's like, offer it. So she gave me the opportunity to be able to share it. Thank God. Okay? So fast forward to present day. I've now been sharing Yoga Nidra publicly in studios and such since 2014 for the last 10 years. Thank you. And now I'm a continuing educator, so now I offer certification. So I can certify you in Yoga Nidra and teach you how to become a facilitator. And also Yin Yoga. Have you practiced Yin?
Yes.
Yes, yes, you have.
That's when you hold the poses longer.
Oh,
That, you were just doing it in Happy
Yeah.
Baby. If you were to hold Happy Baby for 4 minutes, that's your Yin.
Yeah.
If I were to hold Happy Baby,
You wouldn't be a happy baby.
That's the joke we always say. Happy Baby is older adult angry pose or something like that. So anyways, that's just kind of where I'm at. And I've just realized that it's these specialized areas of yoga that people need to be informed by, because these are the areas that are missing, especially when it comes to meditation. People have no idea what they're doing in meditation, and you can deeply harm yourself on a mental emotional plane, psychically, if you don't really know what you're doing. Okay? So for me, I have been just infusing. After all of that, I became a teacher. I started teaching, and then I became the class that said Vinyasa with Patricia, in brackets, 15 minutes of Yoga Nidra. So I became what I was very curious about. I ended up offering it. So, for me, what I just like to try to do is understand where you're at in your practice. What are your practices? And just to share with you how yoga and Yoga Nidra, and more importantly, how you're already doing it. This is the beauty of this work. We're already doing it, right? People think they're not meditating. Yeah, you are. You just don't realize it, And a lot of it is just coming back to our nature and who we are. And our nature is who we are when we're not thinking. When we're not thinking is who we are. That's our nature. And using practices like Yoga Nidra to move us into those states of non-thinking, meaning using the ego in a different way, so that we can impress our mind with higher qualities of stimuli, higher quality of information, because there's ways to do that. Okay, so do you have any questions so far?
No, you make perfect sense.
Awesome. You're all good? Okay. Anybody at home? Everybody at home? Hello. So, just so they know I haven't forgotten you. Okay, so I guess I'll just start by saying that, in a traditional yoga studio or space, you start with hatha. Hatha, Hatha, Hatha yoga, is really the 5th school of yoga. There are 5 schools of yoga, okay? And every school is its own tree of knowledge then. The first school is Jnana Yoga, which is education. The second school is Bhakti Yoga, which is love, devotion. Then there's Karmic Yoga, which is easily explained. I'm sure you understand that, Karmic Yoga. There's also...
sorry, I don't understand the term.
Okay, Karmic Yoga. Ways that you can start reversing your karma. Karmic Yoga. So some studios would have karmic classes. The easiest way to do that would be offer free classes. That's a good way to start Karmic Yoga. Karmic Yoga, you could say, is practicing with intention. You know, I'm planting a lemon seed to grow a lemon tree. I'm not planting a lemon seed to grow a cherry tree. But at the same time, planting the seed, getting it to the lemon tree, there's the karma. Is it going to become the lemon tree or is it going to become the cherry tree? Your karma will determine how you feed that seed. And that's what karmic yoga is about. Thought, word, and deed. Do they all align to receive the lemon tree from the lemon seed? Okay? So, and then there's Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is the science of yoga. And it's the lineage, they call it the royal path. And the themes of those paths are, how can my mind work for me? How can my inner faculties no longer control me? That's the school of Raja. That is where Yoga Nidra comes from. Okay? Before I get there. And the last school is Hatha. So think about it, you guys. There's 5 schools of yoga. The last school, which is the 5th school, is Hatha Yoga, the body. But in the Western world, they start with Hatha as the first school.
Yes.
So how many things are missing? This stuff gets me so upset. How many things are missing? Right? The average person thinks that is yoga.
Even with the physical.
Exactly.
No wonder there's so much ego.
Yes, dealing with the physical.
You get me? So this is where I try to introduce and make people understand Hatha Yoga. The only reason why as well you move through the body is because it's a vehicle. Anytime you want to understand your mind, you move through the body first. It's just life. We just haven't been taught that, to observe, to pay attention, to become more aware, to be mindful. We're using our bodies every single day, every moment of the day. It's supposed to teach us in some way, but we haven't been taught that. Yoga does that. Yoga uses your body, your practice to teach you about you. So there are, even though Hatha Yoga is starting at the body, but there are 8 steps in Hatha Yoga, okay? And the 8 steps are the yamas, the niyamas, yamas, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Samadhi is super consciousness, right? So there's a lot you can explore in Hatha Yoga, right? There's still 8 limbs that you can explore. But again, not every class you're learning that there are these 8 limbs. And of the 8 limbs, asana is the body. That's the 3rd limb. So what about the others? And it's not that the others aren't being awakened, because that's the science and the system of the practice. If you start at one, you'll eventually wake up the others, right?
Yes.
But depending on your teachers, you may never learn of the others. I've taught many people in my classes and courses that have no idea. They get to the 5th limb and that's it, they know nothing else.
Do you have a book?
I'm going to.
Because I'm following along with you really well, but there's still some things that I don't understand, and I want to record you or something so that I can go back and, like...
Well, make sure they send you this.
Is it being recorded?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
And please interrupt me if you have a question, okay? I'm just a stream, it'll just go. But feel free to interrupt anytime, okay? Please. So, asana, the body, this is why people can get stuck in the body, because there's no education around why we're even doing this in the first place and why the body is used as the vehicle to get there. Where's there? They don't know, right? So what I'm just saying is, right now the Western world and most of the Western world is invested in the 5th school, Hatha Yoga, which is okay because there are these 8 limbs that come with it. But at the same time, it's important for people, you can't, yoga isn't inconsequential. No matter what you practice, there will be a consequence of some kind. You know, one of my teachers says it doesn't matter what you come to yoga for. At some point you will have a psychical experience. But what people don't realize is these psychical experiences, these awakenings happen off of the mat, not on the mat. So it's important for us as teachers to educate you on the mat, so that when you're in the world and these things are happening, you have some tools, or you have some references, or you have somewhere to go. You know what I mean? There's so many things in the Western world around yoga that leave people in trauma states. Because there's no, as much as yoga is healing, it's a vehicle to healing, right? So all the healing, yes, is going to happen in yoga, sure, with time and momentum, but getting there can be pretty confronting, uncomfortable. Enlightenment is uncomfortable. It's painful. Enlightenment isn't rosy and peachy. It's uncomfortable. So it's important that people have the tools and the education. So this is where I have come in, where I'm trying to offer these areas of the practices so people can go, oh, now I get that, right? So I'm gonna go back to Hatha Yoga. Hatha, H-A-T-H-A, Hatha. Ha is the inhalation. Yes, it's the contraction, it's the yang, it's the sun. Ta, T-H-A, is the exhalation. It's the yin, it's the moon, okay? The idea of Hatha Yoga is to link the body with the breath. Inhale, exhale. This over time is going to create synchronicity, alignment in the body. It's also going to start offering the breath to the right cells, to the right places. It's going to start waking up your chi. It's going to start penetrating your life force and generating even more life force, prana. It's going to awaken your kundalini, right? Do you know what the kundalini is? Yes, our God body. That's right, our God. It's sleeping. That's why we are descendants, because God descended that. It is our job to ascend it back, to make our way back. So the idea, that's what yoga is for, and hatha is for, to start using the breath in the body that starts working the chi and working all of these subtle bodies, more importantly, your subtle bodies. Your subtle bodies are the parts of you that is your nature, who you are when you're not thinking. What does that mean to you when you hear that? That your nature is who you are when you're not thinking. How does that make you feel?
Wonderful.
Why?
Sometimes it's things, when you talk about not thinking, it's things that are kind of automatic, I think. And we talked about a little bit about meditation. I'll be washing the dishes and I'll be in a little trance, you know? If I'm all, you know, or I'll be cooking or I'll be walking and I'll be in a little trance all on my own, I guess. So I'm not thinking about anything in particular, but you know, I guess I'm doing the automatic things. I know where I'm going, so I don't have to think about the route. I know how to wash dishes, so I don't have to think about while you put in the dish. You know what I mean? So that's when I go into my trance, when I'm doing certain things.
Yes.
You know, sometimes when I'm reading or doing a word puzzle, I just go into this little trance, and I think that's my version of it. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
It's your presence.
Yeah.
It's presence.
Right.
You are fully in the moment,
Right.
right? And when we're in the moment, there's no thinking. There's actually no function of the ego when you're in the moment, when you're present, right? So these are the states, the subtle states of the practice that we try to bring awareness to, so you're more aware of it in your regular life. This is what's going to create more presence. So do you see what you just said? I can just go where I'm going because I know the route. I don't even have to think about it.
Right.
So imagine if we approached meditation that way.
Yeah.
I can just sit in meditation. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
That's the hard part.
Well, hello.
You know, when I'm washing dishes, there's no problem. I'm in trance. When I'm doing that walk, I know. But if you say, okay, let's meditate, sit
Yes.
down, make yourself comfortable. First of all, it's not comfortable. That's number one.
Yes.
And then empty your mind and blah, blah, blah. I can do it for little snippets. You know what I mean? I'll be in that zone, I guess, but then something will come to interrupt, some noise, some thoughts, the thoughts especially, you know, so.
You're speaking to a Buddhist who can sit and chant for hours.
Oh,
and they're
she's a
talking about
bhakti.
That's
Oh,
chanting.
you're a bhakti yogi.
Yes.
That's devotion.
Yes.
Chanting.
That's
She
different.
does meditate.
That is
Highly.
meditation.
And it's not the whole time that I'm chanting. It'll be maybe I'm chanting for about 15 minutes and then I'll go into whatever. You know what I mean?
But
Deep
it sounds
consciousness.
like healing. Like
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can
very much.
feel what's coming off of it. So
Yeah.
you do meditate.
Oh, that's deep. Yes. But I totally understand what you mean.
Yes.
You know, and what we're talking about here, these are the elements that's missing when people are sitting to practice. They think they have to do something.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do.
But that's the hard part.
I
Your
know.
mind keeps coming in and telling you, you gotta do the laundry, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And that's the hardest time sitting down to say, I'm going to meditate like that. I find that the most difficult. If I'm not trying to meditate, if I'm doing something else, that's easy to meditate because I'm just doing my thing and, you know, but sitting down and they say, okay, we're going to meditate now. Not so much.
It's hard.
I know.
It's hard. But again, we just haven't been taught to be okay with doing nothing.
That's the thing.
We haven't.
Yeah.
And we're using our egos to create,
Yeah.
right? Whatever that is, thought, word, and deed.
Yeah.
So what's important about practices like moving into, so a typical class would be practicing hatha, kundalini, any yoga, movement, asana, breath, movement, lying down in corpse pose. And I mean, getting to corpse pose exhausted, that things are awake, moving, chi is moving. You know when you try to be still but you can't? That's just going?
Yeah.
That's where you want to get. At the end of your practice. You want to get, and I'm talking about, I mean, trust me, I've been to India, so I know what it's like. They're not soft in India.
And the sons that are detoxing at the same time.
Okay? So you are going into Shavasana already feeling like a different person. You know, there's this energy that's awake. But with time and with the practice of Yoga Nidra, guidance in Shavasana will take you into your subtle states. And your subtle states are moving into your subconscious, right? Because the ego can only function in the conscious mind. The ego that says, you gotta go do this, you gotta go do that, why don't you do this, why don't you do that, and then want to tell you also how it feels about what you just did. Okay? All right, and it's our own, because our ego only exists because we believe it does. Okay? But at the same time, you can't be in this world without it. But at the same time, through these practices, we can learn to change our relationship with it. It's important that our ego is our ally, not our instigator, not even a disruptor, but our ally. Meaning that your ego is always moving you back to your presence, back to your authentic self, rather than these roles that we make up in the world, or that the world is made up for us at the end of the day. Were you going to say something?
No,
Oh.
I was listening.
Oh, okay. So this is what people are going into meditation with, the same ego that they're using in the world.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's like the sweat lodge.
Tell me,
You know?
the sweat lodge.
The sweat
Tell me.
lodge well, I was just going to sort of make a comparison.
Is this, you mean indigenous sweat lodge?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's something very spiritual, very, I can't find the right words for it, but it's something. and then people try to take it and capitalize on it, monetize it and make it something that it's not.
That's
You
right.
don't have a sweat lodge and start charging people admission. That's not the way it goes.
All right
It's a
then.
detox lodge.
It's a detox. Come on. It's purification. It's purification.
Yeah.
It's a cleanse.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I understand these things get exploited,
Yeah.
right? So I think, just this is what's happening with meditation. Everyone's taking too much of the world with them in their practice. So again, you would do a yoga practice, movement, tired, exhausted, move into Shavasana, and that's where Yoga Nidra now is going to take you and guide you into your subtler states. Your subtle states are who you are when you're not thinking. And those are called the koshas. They have a name for them. They're called sheaths. They mean veil. They mean to cover up. Okay? And everyone has them. We all have them. But it's where our natural behaviors are, why we are the way we are. When we get into Shavasana in a practice, Yoga Nidra takes you through your koshas, why you are the way you are. And then you come out of Yoga Nidra, and you would sit up now, and now you would practice Yoga Nidra, and now you would practice meditation. So you can understand there's a very big part missing between asana, some breath work, moving the body, moving into your subconscious body, because that's the point of doing yoga. Yoga is to bring you back to your nature. Your nature is in your subconscious, but you still need a tool, a method to work through that, so that now when you come out of it, you should feel lighter. When you do a really strong workout, whether it's the gym, a long, nice walk, but you feel lighter, you feel like you shed something. That is the first layer of your kosha. It's a physical layer, it's the gross body layer. It's called Annamaya kosha. Annamaya. A-N-N-A, Maya, M-A-Y-A. Look it up, everyone. Annamaya kosha. We use exercise to break this body down a bit. What you're really doing is breaking down your ego, breaking down what you think you know. You're breaking it down to remember, because these things that we think we know covered up what we really are. There are sheaths, they're veils. It's like the bride. Imagine the bride had like 10 veils on top of her. And in order to, you have to remove these veils, okay? Yoga Nidra does that. It starts by taking you into these deeper states of why I do what I do, why I am what I am. That's what the subconscious is made of. When we're in there, we do certain techniques and certain ways, there's certain tools and things you can do that is going to start waking up the deeper parts of you. And really, the parts of us that we hide because they hurt too much. There are even good things in our lives that we hide because they hurt too much. The pains and the pleasures, our traumas, everything. But what happens, guys, is when we are lying down and we move into Yoga Nidra, it's a practice of conscious relaxation, meaning that the body's going to sleep, but consciousness is still awake. And it's awake through hearing. It's a clairaudient tool. You operate on the levels of hearing and feeling. So when you're in those states, the guide may offer you some things that really is going to awaken your brain, and your central nervous system, that things are going to start coming up. Things that, again, you may have been wanting to forget that ever happened to you, thought, word, or deed. But the difference this time in Yoga Nidra, experiencing these deep inner personal things that are unique to you, is the body is asleep. So that means The ego is asleep. That means that the mind is in the right condition, because the ego isn't there trying to tell it what to do and what to feel and how to be and what to da. It's asleep. So now consciousness, not ego, can create the right impressions on your mind. And I know that sounds really convoluted, like what? But think about, what's an impression? When someone leaves a good impression on you, what is that? You've met someone that just left a good vibe, a good energy about them. They've touched you in some way, in a positive way. It's the same thing in the practice. You get the opportunity to do that to yourself, to move through whatever's coming up. What do I need? What do I not need? What serves me? It's like you're going in and fixing the software in your computer. But really what you're doing is your energy is ascending so that you can start seeing it from 6D rather than being in 3D, 4D. Now you can see it from 6D. This is what is happening in Shavasana, in Yoga Nidra. This is what is supposed to happen. We have to have experiences of witnessing things without getting involved, without interfering. In meditation, people are sitting down and interfering. Like what you're saying, why it's hard to sit and meditate, because your ego just wants to interfere. You can't actually just see something for what it is. The ego wants to analyze it, describe it, label it, tell you how to feel about it, right? Whereas when you move into deeper, subtler practices like Yoga Nidra, the ego's asleep, so it can't function the way it would function. You're actually experiencing things just as they are. So you may find things will come, you may find you're crying in your Yoga Nidra practice, but your body's asleep. You're conscious that it's happening, but you can't respond to it the way you would because the ego's asleep. Isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I started practicing after having a child. You know, when you're like half asleep, but you're still got that ear out always.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Or like when I have
Ooh, that's
like
beautiful.
1 hour or less than an hour and I want to take a nap, but I can't. I'm still consciously there, but I let my body completely relax and just try to let go of things.
Ooh, you're practicing conscious relaxation. That's beautiful. Very special. And I think what you said is so poignant, being a mother. It's like that third eye, and really first eye.
Just awoken.
Yeah, it gets awakened. And you realize that there is something outside of this intellect that knows I'm holding my baby and I'm sleeping and I'm whatever. There's something here witnessing all of it.
The first day, when she laid next to me, I was on the edge of the bed and I was lying on my side, and that's not the usual position for me. And I went to sleep like that, and I woke up like that. My
See?
body had kept the position because it knew what it was carrying.
You know what I'm saying? And that's consciousness. It's like the difference between sleep and being unconscious. They're two different states. They're two different states. People think that unconsciousness and sleep are the same. They're not. You could be completely unconscious and not dream. Not have any psychical experience. Frankly, that's Yoga Nidra. Being in the state without going into the dream state. Because once you go into the dream state, you're dreaming, you're gone. So conscious is gone.
Unless you're traveling.
And you're conscious away,
Yeah.
right? But that's still a practice of Yoga Nidra.
Okay.
Being awake during this travel.
Yes.
1 hour of Yoga Nidra is equivalent to 4 hours of deep sleep.
Get on this, Mom.
Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yes.
Because when you are in these deep states as well, friends, and there's an awareness of consciousness, you witness tension. You witness muscular tension, mental tension, and emotional tension. You witness it. because your body's asleep and the ego can't just attack it, right? So you actually witness it. And what you witness, guys, is it coming to the surface and dissolving, going away. That's what you witness. Guys, there are people walking around with tension that they've been holding on to for the last,
decades.
Yes.
girl,
Yes.
decades.
Yes.
Why? Because they haven't treated it.
Yeah.
They haven't learned how to change the disposition of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Change your relationship to it. But they just haven't been taught. There's a woman. Her name is Dr. Jill. Thank you. There's a woman, her name is Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor. She's a neurosurgeon. She has a book called A Stroke of Insight, okay? And she actually did a TEDx talk on it and everything. So she treats people that have had strokes. She treats that area of the brain. One day, believe this or not, she had a stroke at home.
Dang.
And you know what she did?
She treated
Treated
herself.
herself.
How did she do it? By watching. She watched herself in the stroke. Because she had studied and investigated strokes for so long, she knew that there was a threshold of time. And whether it's in between worlds, where there's a timelessness that's there, she could allow herself to be in a state to witness what was happening in the stroke. And then called someone to help her.
Wow.
Isn't this incredible?
It is.
And she ended up writing a book about it. Oprah even interviewed her. And she has a TEDx and everything. Sure. But what was the crux of the book? What I think the biggest thing that everyone got from it was, she said that emotions, how we actually experience emotion. She said it takes 90 seconds for an emotion to arrive in the body, for you to experience it, and for it to dissolve. 90 seconds.
Is that across the board with
Yes,
all the emotions?
every emotion.
I've heard this too, and after that, it's whether or not you're deciding to hold on to that emotion and keep experiencing it.
Look at emotion as guests or visitors that come to your door. Do you look through the peephole first to see who it is? Do you just run and open the door? Do you just invite them in? Do you have such a good time you feed them and tell them they can stay? And then before you know it, it's been 6 months? We have to look at emotions that way. You understand? This is the crux of people. This is what's hiding in our bodies. This is what we're not confronting then, you know? So she's really taught that, and you experience it in these deeper states. You experience tension rise, tension, you feel it, and then you experience it dissolve. And what that can show you is that this is one of the secrets of relaxation. The more you practice relaxation, the more you go to those deeper states, you cannot be triggered. A trigger and relaxation are incompatible. So think about that with meditation. There's an element of relaxation that's missing. Why people are even still triggered by their own mental manifestations, mental activity, mental thoughts, mental visions, mental ways of being. Because there's an element of relaxation that's missing. And this is what I mean when I say it creates the right condition for the mind to receive the right impression. In meditation, the impression is to just sit with it and observe it until it changes you. We keep on looking at things trying to change it. It's not going to change. You have to look at it long enough for it to change you. And how does that happen? by looking at it long enough that you no longer see it for what it is. If you're to look at something that you've been through over and over and over and over and over and over and over, it's not going to be the same. You'll look at it differently. It'll start to change you. And what changes is just how you see it, how you live with it, how it exists in your life. So this is my work, introducing people to their subconscious nature, and the tool and the method is Yoga Nidra to do it, so that we can bring some of our authentic nature back to what we experience in the world, whether it be in your meditation or in the world. You have to see yourself a little bit differently. You have to see the mind differently in order to use it differently. You can't train something you don't understand. And sitting in meditation just trying to observe your mind, I'll tell you, man, I've seen people who have made themselves go crazy by their own minds. That's how powerful the mind is. Don't ever practice meditation without a guide, ever. And if you're ever to practice meditation by yourself, start at 1 minute, no longer. Don't sit down like, oh, I'm gonna have a nice 20-minute meditation. You'll drive yourself crazy because you don't have the tools or the education to support what's coming up and the ripple effect of that. You're not relaxed enough. I could talk about this all day. The last thing I'll say is when I say you're not relaxed enough, I mean the ego isn't relaxed enough to be able to say, use me, rather than I'm gonna use you. That's the difference. It's almost like you are exhausting the ego. You're actually putting it to sleep. Eventually it'll die because the way you use it has changed by putting it to sleep so much. Any questions about that? Or how do you feel about that? It's a lot.
It's fascinating, actually.
It's a lot, eh? But it's fascinating.
It is.
It's a lot to contemplate. I really love contemplation meditation.
Mm-hmm.
People should even contemplate meditate more than meditate. Contemplate it. Question it. You know what I'm saying? Question what is coming up for you. Why did I act this way? Why do I respond this way? Why did I? Why? Ask those things. That's your contemplation. That is going to help you. You know, contemplation is pondering what you're observing, whereas meditation is just observing. There's no pondering. Everyone's bringing ponder to meditation, but not in a good way, not in a healthy way. They're doing it in a way to respond and react and attack. But if you can learn to ponder, because when you ponder, you're not going to come to an answer. You're going to come to wisdom. And you could do that forever. There's no end with contemplating and wisdom, right? There's no end. So if people could learn to, if you're going to sit and meditate and something comes up that's maybe jarring, or allow yourself to contemplate it for a little bit. Maybe contemplate why you were even jarred by it. Start investigating. We hide so much emotion in the body. We hide everything in the body. And the body's mad intelligent. Our intelligence soars. Consciousness is intelligence. Consciousness is discernment. Intelligence is discernment, not intellect. Intellect doesn't always know how to discern. The heart does, because it's intelligent. But intelligence is discernment. I'm not going to let this bother me because I already know what it is. That's discernment. Discernment determines your bliss. Can you discern? But you have to be in the space enough to learn how to discern. It's through contemplation. It's through relaxing. It's through doing nothing. It's through letting it come up and not responding to it.
I love that phrase, discernment determines.
That's going to teach you how to meditate. I wish you guys at home had some questions. I always tell people you feel those emotions first, and holding that, walking around with the negative ones can make or will make you sick. Love is the first principle. That's right, sister. That's beautiful. Thank you. I need this in my life.
Oh, Naeem.
Yeah, Naeem. Aw, thank you.
So I wanted to just do a little housekeeping here. We had some food that was brought in.
Oh, that's nice.
So I don't know whether you were within, I mean, I think it's been about, Nora was saying it's been about an hour.
Yes, which is
now.
great.
So, I don't know whether it would, how.
It's up to you basically whether you want to continue
Do you
right
want,
now
or we could get a little bit of food right now?
How long is this live?
Well, it's as long as you're gonna wanna make it, but what I'm
No, but
saying-
I thought it cut off. I didn't know. That's why I'm
I
asking.
think
I think it does it after 2 hours though, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure exactly the number, but
Okay.
we have a lot of time still left.
All right, so yeah, as I said, but one of the things too is that I think at the last one, we sort of gotten the food and, food again, we're talking about food.
Bad boys always
Taking
talking about
some
food.
And then we were also sort of still talking, but I don't know how that would be,
Yeah, I don't know how much time's left.
will maybe impact upon the
Practice.
discipline, but
So this is what I was gonna ask. Did you guys want to practice a little bit of Yoga Nidra today?
Yes.
Even just a half an hour or so?
Yes.
Well, it would be better to do it before the food.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so
We
what I'm
can't
thinking-
eat and lie down.
Okay, so what I'm thinking then is that we would, maybe if you wanna take a quick 5 minutes now as a sort of break,
Sure.
and then go into this for half hour.
Yeah.
And then we roll into food.
There it is. Does that work?
Yes.
That worked.
Okay, so everyone at home, I would love for you guys to practice with us, because I'll put the practice is gonna be a part of the live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I'll
So-
keep the life going.
that would be
So
great.
what I would say is this, why don't we say start in 5 minutes,
Yeah,
5 to 7 minutes?
sure.
People can quickly go get a drink or take a quick walk.
Fat boy!
And I'll just let you guys know at home. So if you are planning on practicing at home, just find somewhere comfortable to practice, whether it be on, the tradition of the practice is lying on the floor. It would be lying on your yoga mat but not everybody can lie on the floor for longer periods of time. So I understand, sometimes the body gets involved. So feel free, you can practice in your bed. I would practice where you can lie down without any interruption, some uninterrupted time, as if you were gonna sleep here for a little bit. If you could set yourself up that way, use your pillows, use your blankets. If you have an eye pillow, you're even welcome if you have some soft music that you would like. In your background, it'll be silent here, but if you like. And it doesn't have to be. If you guys want music, we can do that. But it just may sound funny over the live, okay? So yeah, I would just say if you guys are gonna take this 5 minutes now, because they're just taking 5 minutes, a little break, and then we're gonna start. And so just please start setting yourself up, and we'll practice.
One person asked in the chat and said that they need your information, like
My-
where they can contact, whatever your social medias or whatever.
Sure. My Instagram is relax with Pat, relax_with_Pat. And I have a website, patriciamcpherson.ca, but if you go on my Instagram, it'll be in the bio. And I don't post too much these days, to be honest. I just can't be bothered. So you'll see a couple courses and stuff like that. I do have a YouTube page as well, Relax with Pat. Thank you. And that's another business model I just can't stand. So I started making some videos and then I fell off, and it's because I just don't enjoy it. But there are some yin yoga videos there. There's even some meditations, and there is a Yoga Nidra session there as well. If you want to practice on YouTube, the yin yoga is all on the floor, deep stretching, just holding poses for longer periods of time. And also on my website, I have meditations that you can purchase, and they're anywhere from, I think, 99 cents to $2.99. And there is a Yoga Nidra series. There's a 6-part series, and they're 1 hour long. And then all the other meditations are anywhere from 55 minutes to 55 minutes. So feel free, follow me, because sometimes I do pop-ups, sometimes I do virtual Yoga Nidra sessions online, and we do them over Zoom, maybe on a Thursday night, something like that for 45 minutes, or, sometimes I'll do those pop-ups. But please, I was saying I offer the course. The 40-hour Yoga Nidra course is also virtual. It's not even in person. It's all, so you can do it from the comfort of your home. And it's really a bit of a self-study independent course. And you don't have to be a teacher to take it. It's really just about wanting to get to know yourself. I'm grateful. Please connect, and if you have any other questions with anything, please let me know. I'm happy to serve and help. So you guys can let me know when you're ready. And
Say another couple minutes.
a couple minutes, okay? And then we can start.
Heard that a lot.
These Yoga Nidra sessions are anywhere from, it can be anywhere from, I would say, 15 minutes to 60 minutes. Yoga Nidra, you know, yogis believe that Yoga Nidra is an activity, that relaxation is an activity. So in order to experience relaxation, you have to witness it. And that's the conscious aspect of conscious relaxation. So it's the idea of moving to the borderline between wakefulness and sleep, and resting in that state, which is the alpha state, and being in this state. You know, every night we all go into the alpha state for about 6 minutes. Yoga Nidra gives you the opportunity to be in it for up to 20 minutes. And that's where we really move into our subconscious nature. And just starting to move into the deeper parts of ourselves. So I just invite you, don't try to stay awake. Just allow yourself to feel and experience and receive. And just relax and follow the voice. And if you fall asleep, just allow yourself to. This is beautiful, sister, Mother Pat. Patricia is my mama's name. Oh, that's so nice, Naeem. I love that. Thank you for your words. I truly appreciate that. And if you have any questions, you know, just make sure, send them here. Happy to help. My goal is to convert you with this work so that you want to offer this to yourself. Relaxation should be scheduled, just like having lunch, just like planning to go out with a friend. Yoga, relaxation should be scheduled. Make that time for yourself. Make it deliberate, and it becomes a ritual. And then you actually begin to learn the secrets of how people manifest. People manifest in these states. We're not manifesting in the conscious mind. We're manifesting in the subconscious and unconscious mind. So we use methods and tools like this to bring us in communion with our creative gifts and our genius at the end of the day.
I think he's taking,
Oh, okay, okay.
Marcine, you're taking a list of the people that are on there, right?
List of the people that are
Online, just so that you write the names down, maybe, I don't know. Huh?
just write down the people that come here at first.
Do you guys have like a little sweater or something? Because you will get chilly the more you lie here.
Over 20 people on the line.
Okay, you can feel it over there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, good, good. Because it does get chilly. Good, I'm glad. Make it a part of your Sundays. Make time for it. Even if you fall asleep, you're still doing it. You know, there are two parts to this practice. There's a part that's body influenced and psychical influenced. But what you want to remember with a lot of these energetic practices, the psychical stuff is always happening, no matter what. So even if you can give into the body and just allow yourself to sleep, the body needs rest. Give it that. I guarantee you all the other stuff is happening anyways. It's too intelligent not to. And happy spring equinox. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
Yoga Nidra also, you know, while I have this time before we start, you know, there's an aspect of Yoga Nidra called Sankalpa. And Sankalpa is a resolve. It's a seed. It's a seed of determination. It's a seed of willpower. Any seed that's planted in Yoga Nidra is bound to come true over your lifetime. It's a seed that begins with I am. Why I am are the two most powerful words in the world. I am. Your sankalpa is something that should shift your personality. It should change your personality. It should transform you to awaken the creative genius within. And really, the idea is we all have a soul urge. You know, our work is to get back to the soul, get back to the soul's urge. And whether that's through vocation or duty or, you know, whatever that is, service, how you spend your time, sankalpa can be used as a seed to begin awakening these parts of yourself. So it's a seed of becoming something, becoming someone, or doing something. And again, it should never be rushed. It should be something you think about for a while because it should shift your personality. We plant the seed in Yoga Nidra and then we leave the practice with it so that we can begin watering this seed in the world, so that we begin producing from sankalpa. It's not an affirmation. It's not a mantra. It's a resolve. Actually, I have something really cool. I'm hoping I can find it really quickly before we start. I'm going to read it to you just so you can understand what sankalpa is. So I want you to think, you know, this is also why New Year's resolutions don't work. Because for one thing, it's a seed being planted in the wrong time of the year. Winter is dead. And also,
You need a green hole.
you know what I'm saying? And also, yeah, it's affirmations are sensory experiences, meaning that they may put you in the right attitude, the right energy, the right vibration, sure, but only for a time. And it's only for a time because affirmations lack direction. Sankalpa is about direction. It's about physiologically, psychically transforming your inner world.
At one point there was 20 something, right now.
Sankalpa. Sankalpa. Sankalpa.
Sounds kind of like sankalpa.
Exactly. Exactly. Sankalpa. Exactly. See how it's all connected? It all comes from us too. Yoga started with us. All right, sankalpa, just so you understand what it is. And even if you don't have a sankalpa, just saying I am is enough. Sankalpa, one pointed resolve to do or achieve, and both psychologically and philosophically. It is the first practical step by which the sensitivity and potentiality of the mind is increased. It is known as the capacity to harness the willpower and the tool to focus and harmonize the complex body-mind apparatus. How powerful is that? Exactly. All right, are we good to go, Brother Omar?
Yeah, so sorry, I thought that you were.
No worries at all.
I thought that you had-
Should I do it from here? I guess I can just sit here. I'll
Wherever
sit
you
here.
feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'll just sit here. Okay.
Do you want to turn the lights down or no? Does that help?
Yeah, why don't you do that? Why don't you guys, that would be nice for them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I will, Jonathan, after we do the practice, I will talk about May 10th, the Yin Yoga program. Yes, I will, of course. Thank you. All right, everyone, take some time. We're going to practice here for about 30 minutes or so. Allow yourself to find somewhere where you can settle and where you can relax, where you can allow yourself to relax deeply. A safe space. If you live with someone, let them know that you need some uninterrupted time. Take a few moments here. Notice if the body is warm enough. Can you relax
You're
here?
down there.
Offer any movement that you may feel you need in this moment. If the body feels restless, feel free to offer any movement. That could be a stretch. That could be hugging your knees into your chest. It could be anything here. Anything that's going to encourage you to relax for these initial moments. Make any final adjustments now. We're only operating on the levels of hearing and feeling. There's nothing else to do. Take this time to get settled, allowing yourself to be still, as relaxed as possible. Bring some awareness to the back of the neck, the lower spine. Make sure that these parts of you are supported, the lower back, that you can rest here. Once you're beginning to feel settled, everyone, soften the eyes, soften the skin of the eyelids, begin relaxing the whole face. Release the corners of the mouth, soften the tongue. Relax the throat, soften the shoulders and the collarbones. Feel free, let's take a satisfying breath. You're welcome to take a breath at any pace, a deep inhalation at any time. Feel free to let it go out the mouth. Feel free to take any other breath here. And just allowing this breath to walk you back to breathing in and out of the nose. Coming back to an effortless, natural breath. Breathing in and out of the nose. Do not change it, do not get involved, just allow yourself to be. The breath is happening anyway, you're not the one doing it. Just allowing this natural breath to move in and out of the body as you're beginning to relax, as the body is beginning to soften. Feel free here to mentally repeat, I am relaxing. Mentally repeat, my body is relaxing. And allow yourself to do just that. Notice the mind is awake and alert as the body is beginning to settle and soften. Notice you have the ability to witness the body soften. Notice you have the ability to witness your nature. Witnessing the body beginning to relax. Notice you have this ability. Keeping all awareness on yourself and your body. My body is relaxing deeply. I give myself permission to relax. Relax and release. Releasing all muscular tension. by simply giving yourself permission to do nothing. No thing. Give yourself permission to let go of things. Let go of any need to control. Let go of any need to interfere. Just offer yourself some space to just be. Softening every limb. Disengaging every muscle. As if you could relax every bone. As if you could soften the skin on the whole body. Keeping all awareness on yourself and your body. As if the body was guiding the mind. No rush, no force. Just allow yourself to receive. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to achieve. Now allow yourselves to bring your awareness to the front of your body. Place your awareness along the front of your body. Become aware of the whole face, the eyebrow center. Become aware of the throat, the space across the chest, awareness of the abdomen, the navel, the lower belly. The front of the hips. Now deepen your awareness at the navel. Place your awareness in the abdomen and become aware of your navel. Deepen the experience. Place your awareness at the back of your navel. Between the navel and the spine. Simply allow yourself to become aware of that space. And simply watching. Watching this space as an object. Watching your nature without getting involved. The same way you'd watch the waves in the ocean, the same way you watch trees blowing in the wind. Watch your navel, this space, the same. See yourself as an object of nature. Observe your natural rhythm. without getting involved. Notice a very subtle movement. Notice the space ebbs and flows. It expands and contracts. It rises and falls. The movement is subtle and impulsive, almost spontaneous. Can you witness without interfering? Your Yoga Nidra practice begins now. We'll now make our way to Sankalpa. It's now time to plant your seed of determination. A seed of awakening, the inner creative genius, the one that creates destiny. Any seed planted in Yoga Nidra is bound to come true over your lifetime. A seed that begins with I am. A short positive statement to become someone or do something in your life, in your lifetime. For those that have a sankalpa of such nature, feel free to mentally repeat it now 3 times in the depths of your inner being with magnetizing conviction. Or simply repeat, I am, 3 times now. We'll now move into our rotation of consciousness, allowing the mind to move from one part of the body to the next. Do not interfere, do not analyze, do not intellectualize. Just allow yourself to follow the voice. Feel free to mentally repeat the part or visualize it. Encourage stillness. Honor your natural flow. Mentally begin to split the body in 2 parts along your spine. Place the mind's awareness on the right side of your body. Consciousness is on the right side of the body only. Bring the mind's awareness to your right hand. Let's begin. Bring the mind to the right hand thumb. 2nd finger. 3rd finger. 4th finger. 5th finger. palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, right thigh, kneecap, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the right foot, top of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, the right side of your body. Shift consciousness to the left side of your body immediately. Place the mind in the left hand. Begin at the left hand thumb. Second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. Fifth finger. Palm of the hand. Back of the hand. Wrist. Lower arm. Elbow. Upper arm. Left shoulder. Armpit. Waist. Hip. Left thigh. Kneecap. Calf muscle. Ankle. Heel. Sole of the left foot. Top of the left foot. Left big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Fifth toe. The left side of the body. Place your awareness on the back of your body. Begin at the right buttock. Left buttock. Right shoulder blade. Left shoulder blade. The whole spine. Back of the neck. Back of the head. Crown of the head. The back side of the body. Bring your awareness to the front of the body. Begin at the forehead. Right eyebrow. Left eyebrow. Eyebrow center. Right eye. left eye, right nostril, left nostril, tip of the nose, right cheek, left cheek, right ear, left ear, upper lip, lower lip, both lips together, chin, throat, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, center of the chest, abdomen, navel, lower belly, right hip, left hip, the front side of the body. Bring your awareness to the whole of the right arm, awareness to the whole of the left arm, awareness of both arms together, awareness to the whole of the right leg, awareness to the whole of the left leg, awareness of both legs together, the front side of the body, the back of the body, the whole head, the whole spine, the whole body together, the whole body together. I will not sleep. I can hear the voice, and we are connected. Now quickly shift your awareness to the space in front of your eyes, as if you were staring deeply into the back of your eyelids, becoming aware of Chitakasha, your inner space, as if you were an empty shell lying on the earth, an awareness of nothingness, a dark, friendly void. Notice the space is all around you. Notice you are fully immersed in it. As wide, as tall, as deep as you desire. As if you were sitting at the bottom of the ocean. As if you were curled up next to the seed that was planted. As if you were in the center of the night sky. Become aware of this space, a cosmic etheric space, a reflection of the inner world, similar to outer space. The space where life comes to life, where seeds are planted, where journeys begin. Take a few moments in Chitakasha and just notice this space. Notice what you notice, as far as the eyes can see. Any activity is a reflection and a manifestation of your mind. Now, as you lie here in Chitakasha, allow yourself to begin visualizing. I want you to visualize a garden. See yourself walking towards your garden. Notice what is bloomed. Notice the colors and the life in your garden. The sun is shining. The soil shines with richness. Every seed you've planted has bloomed and blossomed. Make your way to the space where you planted your seed of Sankalpa in your garden. Notice a pitcher of water, the clearest, cleanest, most purified water you've ever experienced or seen. Begin to water your soil. See yourself watering your soil, repeating your Sankalpa 3 times with conviction, feeling, and emotion. Now allow yourself to release the visualization. It's now time to begin externalizing your mental awareness. Begin inviting your mind outside of the body. Externalize the mind just like a radar or a satellite. Send it outward. Allow yourself to begin connecting to external objects or sounds. Connecting to the world and the atmosphere, the environment around you. Maybe feel the surface you're on. Feel the earth beneath you, the supported nature of the earth. Notice the energy of your body. Notice any shifts. Once you're feeling awake or awakened, aware, feel free to begin offering yourself any satisfying breath. Allow the breath to connect you to your presence, back to the moment. Everyone, please feel free and take your time just coming back into your body. Offer yourself what feels natural to you. If you're at home, you have the pleasure of literally staying here as long as you like. You could roll over, you could just take some breath. Maybe you just want to bend your knees. Maybe you just want to find some gentle movement, giving the body, moving it out of a very neutral state, and offering maybe some yang movement. Any type of stretch, any breath, anything. Maybe even just fluttering the eyes open, connecting you back to where you are. Make sure and feel, that you are awake, especially if you're moving on. You can remain in that state between worlds. So really allow yourself to feel grounded, present. For those of you that did practice, I would love to hear any feedback if you found it difficult to relax, if you found your body was in the way. Again, we're not used to lying on our backs for longer periods of time, which is really what we should have been taught. This should be taught in school. But maybe you just had glimpses or a moment of relaxation or feeling in between. These in-between states are where we release the most tension, where we actually can move into deeper states, into the delta state, or even into the dreaming state, because that's the state after alpha is theta, and you move into the dream state. Once you've arrived, everyone, if you found yourself seated, feel free to offer yourself a full breath here again. Nice deep inhalation, and feel free to let it go. And I just want you to notice here too, even just for a moment in seated, can you understand now, had you practiced a little bit longer in Yoga Nidra, I just gave you some parts of the practice, but I'm sure even how you feel now is a little different than when you first started, but I'm sure now you can even feel like, okay, maybe I could sit and meditate for a minute or two. There's a shift. You've released something. There's a lightness. Even taking that time to come back to what you're used to, there's a shift. Maybe you're a little slower. Maybe there's a little bit more awareness. Maybe you can feel, or you feel closer to yourself. How are you guys doing? Namaste to you.
Namaste.
How are you feeling? And namaste is the God in me sees the God in you. Okay? How are you doing? You okay? I know this wasn't a traditional practice, but did you give yourself permission to settle a little bit? I'm glad you rolled over to the side. I'm glad.
Lying on the back.
It's tough.
The lower back.
Yeah. Then usually when we practice, we would put like a pillow under the knees.
Yeah.
You use your props, something under the head. Maybe you are comfortable on your bed but did you notice anything different? What about you, Fortune? You were really chill. Huh?
I was snoring. I could hear myself snoring.
Could you hear yourself snoring?
Oh, yeah.
That is so good.
And then when I came out, I don't think I heard anything you said. Or if I did, I heard it on a different level, because I can't consciously say anything that you said. But when I came out of it, I was like, so this is why they call us shiftless darkies.
The what?
Shiftless darkies.
What is that?
This is a term that I don't know which ancestor brought it to the family.
What does that
But
mean?
that I've heard, right?
Yeah?
From elders. But we weren't moving it all there, so shiftless.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it was meant to mean like you're being lazy.
Yes.
But in all honesty, could that have been someone reaching a different state?
Absolutely.
And
Divine
attachment
laziness.
On the observance.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Divine laziness. There's a difference. They say like Napoleon Hill and stuff like that, when he was in war, he would leave the war and go lie down for 20 minutes just to go into another state so he could come back with what was needed for the war. So yes, they were in other states. When you think about this, yogis are exceptional. Our ancestors taking the time to understand this. to meet God. Can you just imagine the spaces they've been to, the places they've been to, those states, to be able to share it, you know, to move through me and this generation to share, and you, it's incredible. Just taking the time. They were the first scientists. Not all of these scientists that are out here. I can appreciate them, but, and you know, I had a girl just take the Yoga Nidra course. It just finished last week Saturday, and she's an engineer. And she said, in science, there's, you know, that's that thing with science where it's like, they don't believe it unless they've experienced it, right? And there would be none of this if that was true, you know? So who's to say he wasn't in a state? Who's to say? That's between him and God. And who are we to say it's not, right? But the lack of questioning that can make us understand and go deeper in our own journeys, you know, without needing a validation or an explanation or I did this or this. You don't need that. It's unique to you. It's your own communion. Naeem says, there were tears being released but not attached to any emotion, like I wasn't sad. They just easily flowed. They were released, and I found myself doing small smiles. My eyes are still crying, but I feel good. I give thanks to you, Sister Mother Pat. Oh, I could cry myself. That is so nice. And you know what? And this is what I mean when you say the tears were flowing. A lot of that could just be tension, you know, on a physical layer. But at the same time, who knows what was happening with her subconsciously on a mental and emotional plane for something to be released. And the beauty is, because you're in those deeper states of unconsciousness, subconsciousness, it just flows. There's no interference. There's no trying to change it. There's no trying to name it something or label it or intellectualize it. There's none of that. Just let it flow. This is how we release tension. This is the emotion she's talking about. Comes in, you feel it, and it goes. That's it. But you feel, you may not understood what it is, but you feel lighter for it. You feel better for it. There's a release. So that came from your central nervous system. You know, that's for you to receive and just experience and just allow it. You know, it happens to all of us. I still cry when I practice Yoga Nidra. Sometimes I just pass out. I'm out. I didn't hear one word. But that's just what I needed. So, I'm so grateful. Love is not stupid. Subconscious mind. Yeah, you know, love is very, very, very special. That's right. Wonderful. And that's what this practice is doing, bringing you back to love being the response. You know, not doing anything is also a form of love, right? Not feeling like you have to attack this or attack that. That's also a form of love, you know? So I'm grateful. But again, saying that, I'm sure you can feel how meditation now can make sense after something like this. Now you can sit up and be like, okay, you may not take yourself so seriously, more than anything. All right, do you guys have any questions at home or here? How are you doing? I'm so grateful to share this with you guys. And we brought the sun out. Sure, we brought the sun out.
Are you feeling, Mike?
Yeah, Mike, my gosh, you've been so quiet.
Yeah, I'm usually quiet.
Just receiving.
Yeah, no, to me it was like, you know when you're in between falling asleep and like dreaming?
Yes.
It was almost like that.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the borderline between wakefulness and sleep. And we only spend 6 minutes in that state. It's the alpha state. But Yoga Nidra, you can spend up to 20 minutes in that state. And whether you're just experiencing deep relaxation, or maybe you're having moments of emotional release, mental release, the point is you're going to the center of whatever that is so that you can experience whatever these things are without interfering. At the end of the day, that's what meditation is. Observing without interfering. Equanimity. It's the highest form of intelligence. To be able to see something without labeling it. To be able to see something without intellectualizing it. That's the highest form of intelligence. Think of that in regards to racism and how we treat each other as people.
I was just thinking about that also, that it would cut down a lot of the barriers of people feeling like they have to create names and labels for things, whereas if people are just taken as they are, then there's really no need.
Pronouns, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, it's unnecessary. If this is your it's about vibration and frequency. If you carry a more masculine frequency, carry that frequency. Nobody's telling you to change it.
Yeah.
But why do we have to change it? You know what I mean? Why do we have to, why? Just be who you are.
And usually it shows through. I've met very effeminate people who, you know, whether they choose to be called this or they choose to be called that, you're very effeminate, and I feel that femininity from you, and I love and respect you for it. That's you.
Yeah, that's you. It's these poles, the laws of polarity that we're all just, you know, we got to transcend these poles. Intelligence will transcend your pole. You will transcend, leave the pole. Everything is one. There's no this and that and that, this dual. No, we are one.
Comes from the what?
It's one. So this is what this work starts to do. You know, rather than even seeing yourself as a separate being or a broken being, this work will bring you back to your wholeness. You're perfect exactly the way we are. We're perfect.
Omar!
Lunchtime. Yes, people with birthmarks, sure. You know, you can look that up. I would Google a lot of that. Google that. There's you can go down rabbit holes with that question. People
Earlier,
with
someone was asking if you could speak on something about May 10th.
right. So on May 10th, I'll be offering my Yin Yoga teacher training. And it's a 40-hour teacher training. Yin Yoga is a practice that's all done on the floor. And we hold poses for longer periods of time. There are 22 poses in, actually there's about 25 plus, maybe 26, 27 poses of the series. And to me, I appreciate Yin Yoga because it's a bit of, you know, you're being called to start moving into the more relaxing, subtle parts of yourself, the slower, more restorative, therapeutic parts of the practice when you come into Yin Yoga, because it's all done on the floor. It's very earthy. It's all just holding poses. And that's what I was saying is on my YouTube. I started a little Yin Yoga series. So yeah, I'll be offering 40 hours. It is Yoga Alliance, Canadian Yoga Alliance certified. So you will leave the course knowing how to facilitate Yin Yoga. Yay! And I say anyone can take it. I've had doctors take it, psychotherapists take it. I've had anyone take it. If you're going to teach it in a yoga studio, then you have to have 200 hours to teach it. But you can have this knowledge and teach your friends and teach your parents and teach your loved ones. You don't have to be in a yoga studio to do it, or teach yourself. So that's what May 10th is about. It's in person. It'll be at Bathurst College at College Street United Church, 3 weekends in a row. And it's Saturdays and Sundays. And yeah, so if you have any other questions, hit me up. And actually, all of the course info is on my website. The course overview, the curriculum, everything is there. It costs $11.50. I do payment plans. I'm so open to that. I have no problem. I just want people to learn. If you need support with that, please let me know. Okay? But I'm happy to serve you. Thank you. It's so lovely. Thank you. All right. Does anyone else have any questions about anything? I'm so grateful for my time with you guys today. I mean, we're gonna have lunch together, but so grateful to connect with you all, and thank you for sticking it out. You've been here for so long. Thank you for staying, and please DM if you. I think we're disconnected for a minute, but please DM if you have any questions about anything. I give thanks to you too. Thank you so much. I wish you all a wonderful day. And,
Love you, Naeem.
See you soon. They're saying they love you, Naeem. Thank you so much for your feedback and your words, and thank you guys. I'm grateful to you. I hope to meet you again. Namaste. Take care.
Peace.
Hey.
about to close this
You have
out.
a powerful light.
Thanks. Thanks so
When
much.
you were talking earlier,
Where's
there
don't
were
know.
just different points, but like I can see a halo around you.
See you
Oh,
in
wow.
May.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, sis.
Definitely.
That is under
I
one
truly
there.
appreciate
Can you grab that? No,
I was
under,
gonna go
under.
to
Is it
sleep,
under?
not when I was sleeping.
No,